Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwant and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of meeting with Dave Mattson. He is the CEO of Sandler Training. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you.
There's one article that we published in Selling Power like in 1985.
Right.
We talked about features and benefits, and it was one of the most read articles that we have published.
Yeah.
And you're saying this is history.
Well, certainly, I would say most salespeople show up and kind of throw up all that product knowledge.
Right.
And stop selling features and benefits is a nice way to say, don't talk about what the product is, talk about what the product does to help your prospect. Because I think people buy for emotional reasons, not intellectual ones. And they're going to either move towards pleasure or move away from pain. And if you just do features and benefits, I think what we do is we sound like everyone else. Because if I were to ask a salesperson, what are the top 3 reasons why I should buy from you? They would say, well, service and longevity and credibility, that's great. And then I go to their competitor and I say, hey, what are the top 3 reasons I should buy from you? They're going to say the same darn thing. They're going to say, well, service and credibility. So we all sound the same. I think we need to really bridge product training into what problems does it solve for my buyer.
Right.
And that's the key. And I think if you were thinking about being the doctor of sales, that's what I want salespeople to be, the doctor. Because when you walk into a doctor's office, they don't say, before you say anything, let me show you my diplomas. Let me show you the tools that I'll be using. They don't do any of that. They ask questions, right? Because they don't want to prescribe a solution. That's malpractice without asking.
Right.
You know, and they would say to you, well, what's the issue? Well, I've got a bad back. Well, tell me more about that. And now you start talking, you explain it, and then they'll say, well, how long has it been an issue? Well, it's been an issue for a couple months now. Oh, well, have you done anything to try to address it? I mean, heat, cold, whatever. And they ask you a lot of questions. And I think that holds true in the sales process too. So when somebody says to you, I've got a problem with service, that's a symptom. Be a doctor. Ask the questions, take them down to figure out, is that really the issue?
There's another issue, which is translating those features and benefits into value that the customer can relate to.
Sure.
How do you do that?
Well, I think what you do is you take your, set up a grid. Take my product and say, okay, what are my features? What are my benefits? And then what pain does it solve? And if you think about your prospects, say, what would they say in a meeting? I'm really frustrated with, or I'm sick and tired of. And what does your product do that would fill in that blank? And if you were to talk to them about that, then that is something that they'll listen to, not about that it goes 5 times faster. They don't care about that.
So let's do a quick role play.
Sure.
I'm a buyer. I have 500 salespeople, and you come in and you want to sell me on Sandler Training.
Right. So, of course, some of the benefits of Sandler Training is, we've got 12% higher, quota attainment than anyone else, or we've got online learning, we've got awards. That's all great stuff.
Those are features.
Yeah, of course. Right. But if I went and said, Gerhard, listen, every company is different, but I tend to work with executives who may be frustrated by the fact that their salespeople aren't closing and selling as much as they think they should. And there's really maybe not an environment of accountability. You don't really know what's going on, who's working hard, who's not. Right. And the business that we are getting, we tend to discount more than we probably should. So are any of those issues that you may be experiencing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
For instance, which one?
Not closing enough business with larger customers.
Well, tell me a little bit about that. Give me an example.
Well, we just had an opportunity with a $1 billion company, and the sales rep just went for the low-hanging fruit and missed the entire opportunity. That was like 10x.
Yeah. See, and what we were doing there, instead of I wanted you to tell me, what I gave you is the top 3 pain indicators.
Right.
What do people in your position complain about?
You're fishing now.
Yeah, and then I just say, here they are. Just you pick.
Right.
And then you said I had this one. And instead of me saying, well, let me tell you about that. We've got the #1 program when it comes to that. We could actually do online learning. We could do this. And you'd be like, whoa. Because if you push, people resist. Instead, I said, well, tell me more about that. I mean, give me an example. And now you're living it. You're in it. Because people buy emotionally, right? Once you're in it, you're explaining it to me. You've actually gone back in history and put that event right on the table in front of me. And now we're talking about it. Now I am the doctor of sales.
And that's strip lining, right?
And it's strip lining, exactly.
Great technique.
Thank you.
Thank you. For anybody who'd like to get more information, go to sandler.com.